Hello, my name is Ece Temelkuran. I am the author of How to Lose a Country, and I try to lay out the 7 common patterns of global rising right-wing populism. I am from Turkey, and we have experienced the most devastating form of right-wing populism, as you might have already noticed. But this book is not about Turkey at all. It's about the entire world and probably about your country too. I noticed 7 common patterns within all these countries that have been subjected to rising right-wing populism, and I wrote about them. It's a book that tells stories of people, stories of me, and also there's some theoretical parts in the book. I'm here in Waterstones, Piccadilly, and I want to share 3 books that are very special to me today. One of them is Clarice Lispector, Near to the Wild Heart. Clarice Lispector is a Brazilian writer, and she is in fact known to be the Brazilian Virginia Woolf. She's an amazingly beautiful woman, and in fact she acted in movies as well, but also an amazing author. She does hardcore literature, so it's not a page turner, the books that she has written. She's also a special writer to me because this is one of the writers I share with my very close friend Annelies Beck, who's also a novelist. So whenever I get really tired of life, let's say, and the banality of in general, I just open a page and read a few sentences to remind myself where I actually belong, to literature. And the second one is another fiction writer that I, not only as a writer, but also a political figure, adore, let's say. Arundhati Roy wrote The God of Small Things years and years ago. And she wrote this one novel, and she got the Man Booker Award, as you already know. Arundhati Roy is a political figure, and I admire her for being so local about several political issues that we have been grappling with lately. She lately wrote a more political novel called Ministry of Utmost Happiness, and she has been criticized after this novel for her new novel, and I find it quite unfair because she tries to put all those impossible to untangle issues into literature, and that is an amazing effort, I think. I met her once, years ago, during the Iraq International Tribunal. I was a journalist, and she was there in the tribunal. And while I was interviewing her, she called me, "Oh, you are the girl with the big eyes." So I hope she remembers me still. I can never forget her. Here's a book from Hannah Arendt. She's now famous all of a sudden because of the political turmoil that all of us are going through. She was not so popular a few years back, but now she's on the bestseller list. This is one of her books, Eichmann in Jerusalem, a report on the banality of evil. For anyone writing on today's political issues, Hannah Arendt is a must-read, obviously. But especially this book might be very inspiring for those people who are fed up with banality of evil, ordinariness of evil. In my book that's going to be out in February, I wrote that the term banality of evil should be reversed, in fact, to become evil of banality. And that's another long subject, but Hannah Arendt is not only important politically and philosophically, also she's important to me personally because of the subject of forgiveness. Hannah Arendt was a student, also a lover of Heidegger when she was taking lessons from her. But Heidegger, as you might have learned already, was a Nazi for a good part of his life. So Hannah Arendt was a Jew. She had to run away, from Germany to United States. And then for 30 years, she thought if she can forgive Heidegger. And 30 years later, she went back to Germany. She felt completely alien. And we don't really know if she really forgave Heidegger or not. That has always been a curious question for me.